I never thought betrayal could cut this deep. My name is Daniel, and for the past 5 years, I believed I was living the perfect life. I had a stable job as a project manager, a cozy apartment in the heart of the city, a tight circle of friends, and most importantly, Emma. She was the woman I thought I would grow old with. And then there was Ryan, my best friend since high school. The guy who stood next to me through every breakup, every career change, every family crisis. If there was anyone I trusted blindly, it was him. Emma and I had been together for 3 years, and just a few months ago, I was ready to propose. I had even shown Ryan the ring. I remember his grin when I told him, "She's perfect for you, man. You're lucky," he'd said. Looking back, I now hear the hypocrisy dripping from those words. It started with subtle changes. Emma began staying out late, claiming work meetings or drinks with colleagues. Ryan, who used to hang out with me regularly, suddenly became harder to reach. I brushed it off. Life gets busy, right? Then one night, while scrolling through Instagram, I saw a photo that made my stomach drop. Emma had posted a girls' night picture, but in the background, reflected in the bar's mirror, was Ryan's unmistakable profile. I told myself there had to be an explanation, but something inside me whispered otherwise. A week later, my suspicion got the better of me. I left work early one Friday and drove to Emma's apartment. Her car was there. So was Ryan's. I didn't knock. I unlocked the door with the spare key she'd given me, a key I now realize was a symbol of trust she never deserved. The sound hit me first. Laughter. Whispering. Then silence. I stepped into the living room, and there they were, tangled together on the couch like I was nothing but a distant memory. Emma's eyes went wide, her lips parting as if she was about to explain the unexplainable. Ryan stood there, shirtless, guilt and fear warring in his expression. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just said, "You've both made your choice. Now you'll live with it." And I walked out. For the first week, I ignored their calls and messages. Friends reached out, asking why I'd suddenly gone quiet. I told them nothing yet. I wanted my revenge to be surgical, precise, planned, and devastating. Ryan and I were part of a tight-knit friend group. We had annual trips, poker nights, and a shared online business we'd started 2 years ago, an e-commerce store selling custom-designed sneakers. What Emma and Ryan didn't know was that I was the sole legal owner of the business license, the bank accounts, and the website domain. I spent nights preparing. I moved all funds into a separate account, closed the business temporarily for rebranding, and sent out a group message to all our mutual friends inviting them to a special announcement dinner. The dinner was held at a nice downtown restaurant. I booked a private room and made sure both Emma and Ryan were there, along with our entire friend circle. When everyone had settled, I stood up, raised my glass, and said, "I want to thank everyone for being here. Tonight, I have a couple of important announcements to make." I turned to Ryan first. "Ryan, you've been my best friend for over a decade. I trusted you with everything, which is why it broke me when I found you in Emma's apartment with Emma." Gasps filled the room. Emma's face went pale. Ryan's jaw clenched. "But don't worry," I continued, my voice calm. "I'm not here to fight. I'm here to wish you both the best, and let everyone know that Ryan will no longer be part of our sneaker business. As of last week, I bought out his share. And Emma, since you've moved on, I've also canceled the lease on the apartment we shared. Consider it my parting gift." Then I pulled out my phone and played the security camera footage from the building hallway, clear as day, showing Ryan entering Emma's place multiple nights in a row. No one spoke. The air was thick with shock. Some friends avoided looking at them. Others openly shook their heads. Emma mumbled something about not meaning for it to happen. Ryan tried to say, "It's complicated." But their words were drowned out by the weight of what they'd done. I left the dinner before dessert, not looking back once. The night after the dinner, my phone didn't stop buzzing. Half our friends called to say they couldn't believe what they'd seen. The other half sent screenshots of Emma's dramatic posts, cryptic quotes about being misunderstood and following your heart. Ryan stayed silent. 3 weeks later, I ran into them at a coffee shop. They looked diminished. Ryan avoided my eyes. while Emma tried to smile like nothing had happened. "Daniel," she said softly, "can we talk?" I sipped my coffee. "We already did." "No, I mean privately." I shook my head. Everything I needed to say, I said in front of everyone. That way, the truth wasn't just between us. It was real to everyone else too. She flinched. Ryan muttered something under his breath, but I didn't bother asking what. 6 months later, I got word from a mutual friend that their relationship had imploded. Apparently, Emma caught Ryan messaging another woman. I wasn't surprised. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I was tempted to leave it alone, but then I remembered one last card I hadn't played. Back when we were close, Ryan had trusted me with a private project, a side hustle he'd been building in secret. The problem was, he'd registered the domain name under my email address because he didn't know how to set it up. Legally, it was mine.
So I sold it.
Not just for a small profit, for enough to pay off my car loan, fund a vacation to Italy, and still have money left over. I sent him a brief text afterward. "Thanks for the memories. Enjoy starting over, again." A year later, I attended a mutual friend's wedding. Emma was there, sitting alone at the far end of the reception. Ryan didn't show. At one point, she walked over and said, "You really hurt us, you know." I raised an eyebrow. "You hurt me first. I just made sure it wasn't forgotten."
She sighed.
"You didn't have to destroy everything." I leaned in slightly. "No, Emma, you destroyed it. I just put up the warning signs so no one else drives into the wreckage."
She didn't reply.
She just walked away. I wish I could say I forgave them, but forgiveness is a gift, and some people don't deserve it. Instead, I focused on building a life so full and satisfying that they'd forever be just a cautionary tale in the rearview mirror. Now, when people ask about my past, I tell them, trust is like glass. Once shattered, it never looks the same. And if someone breaks it, don't waste your breath yelling. Let your silence, your success, and your absence be the loudest thing they hear. And that is why my revenge left them speechless.